What's going on, guys? So I wanted to make a video about this right here. It's the Quadzilla performance chip. I think it's called XTZ Plus. The company was out of business and then they came back, and yeah, this is one of their products from before they went out of business. I bought it used for $200. According to the instructions, it has two modes. The economy mode, which should increase my horsepower by 35 horsepower, and then torque by about double that. And it's supposed to be good for the on fuel mileage. It's supposed to be good for fuel mileage. It doesn't add any more fuel. All it does is change timing of the engine, which is controlled electronically on these 24 valves. And then there's you can just leave it in stock mode, or the last mode is the performance mode, which should add about 70 horsepower, 200 foot-pounds of torque. And yeah, that adjusts the fuel, the amount of fuel that is put in, and it adjusts the timing for better performance. So I wanted to do an install video and a review. So here on the chip, there's only one plug. It's the main plug, and then you plug in your switch, which I have mounted right there, right underneath the steering wheel, and it has three positions: the down, which is stock; middle, which is the economy; and then up, which is the 70 horsepower performance. I leave it in the middle for now. I'm trying to get good fuel mileage this tank. So then this other chunk of wires goes through your firewall and come out here to the engine. It comes out of your firewall here, and it splits into two. It goes two different ways here. The smaller one comes down here next to your power steering pump and plugs into this triangle plug right here, which is, you can see the power steering cap's here, and then the plug is right here. There's a couple other plugs in here that aren't plugged into anything. And then the other one, where it splits off, goes over to here and plugs into your map sensor. So one plug plugs into the map sensor, and then one plug plugs into what you unplugged from the map sensor. So it just intercepts the signal, and then it kind of taps into the system here right there. And I believe 03 and 04 years need an adapter up here, which it comes with. This is a 98.5, so it didn't need the adapter. And yeah, that is it. So a quick review on how I've liked it. Personally, I have not noticed a difference between the stock setting and then the 35 horsepower. I can't tell a difference at all. I haven't been able to test the fuel economy yet, but yesterday I used a quarter of a tank. I went on kind of a long trip, and I got 18.2 miles to the gallon, which I thought was pretty good. And so the horsepower one, the 70 horsepower performance chip, hold on, let me get it in my truck. The 70 horsepower function, flipping it up, this is 5-speed by the way, flipping it up, putting it in 75 horsepower mode, 70 horsepower mode, I found that it doesn't do a ton for the performance of your truck. However, it's a big noticeable difference. Especially what I found it most useful in is when I'm cruising on the freeway, going 65 in the middle option here, the economy mode, just cruising along at 65, and then if I want to pass like a semi truck, I flip that switch, wait a second or two for it to be fully engaged into 70 horsepower, and then just don't downshift or anything, just put my foot into it, and you'll be at 90 quicker than you would think. a lot quicker if you were to leave it in the economy mode. So I found it most helpful for that reason. If you're looking to do it to roll coal, this is not the chip for you. It's not a crazy amount of coal. I used to not be able to roll any. Now I can barely roll any coal, which that's not my goal to begin with. I think it's stupid. But yeah, and I have a 4-inch straight pipe, so there's no cats holding back the coal or anything. So yeah, I like it. I'm probably going to do a boost fooler or a boost elbow and a set of pillar gauges. I'll do EGT, fuel pressure, and boost. And one more thing before I sign off here. Before you do any modifications, even small ones like this that don't add a ton of horsepower, get an aftermarket lift pump. I have a Foss 95 gallon per minute or gallon per hour, and I don't know if it's big enough to handle this. This isn't that big, so I think it is. I'm not too worried about it, but you do not want to burn up your pump up in the engine. It's really expensive and kind of difficult to replace. But yeah, so that's why I'm looking to get the gauges, make sure my fuel pressure is good, but make sure you have an aftermarket pump. All right, that's it. Have a good day.